Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about they know something you don't. Woman gets delivered pregnancy test on Uber Eats. That's not what she ordered. So with many gig apps, a lot of drivers have an opportunity to do shop and pay orders, and sometimes those shop and pay orders end up having substitutions, and with those substitutions come some unfortunate events, to say the least. Sometimes they don't have a substitution, so they just refund the item, or sometimes they give you something entirely wrong based on what the system designed it to be. But of course, it's always because you got a male shopper, right? So with that said, we are talking about everything that is being said in this article, how it actually is for Doordash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers and customers, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. The failures of delivery drivers and runners for a variety of app-based services have made their way to TikTok via unhappy customers. I love how we automatically frame this entire article under the premise of it's a failure of the driver or runner. Like, it could be no other possibility, right? It's not the system itself. It's not at all the fault of the customer for making unreasonable requests or answering a call when it comes to substituting an item because some items aren't available, or even the store for not having an item available. It's always the default of the drivers or the runners. Whether they attribute the mistakes made by their shoppers to an unfortunate coincidence such as their gender, or a shopper expressing an unwillingness to make any extra effort for customers based on lower tips, many aspects of ordering, purchasing, and receiving items through these apps are documented by both parties online. You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We immediately attributed it to gender, like gender being one of the many unfortunate coincidences, like,
oh my god, my shopper's a man, it's so horrible.
Or a shopper expressing an unwillingness to make an extra effort for customers based on lower tips. If you don't tip your driver, your order shouldn't be delivered to you anyway. That's your own stupid fault. And I love how they always try to put it under the guise of,
oh, I tip 30% almost all the time.
Meanwhile, you ordered a $8 burrito and 30% is what, $3 at best? Me not doing math at all to answer that. $2.40. Oh my god, you are so kind. My goodness. And either way, that is not the failure of the driver or the runner. That is the failure of you not tipping your driver. That is the failure of you not understanding the system. That is the failure of you not liking a gender. How is that any of our faults already? I already hate everything about this. We're only 2 paragraphs in. Is more frequently done when the delivery process goes awry. Otherwise, not according to plan. This was the case for a recent UberEats customer who ordered a COVID-19 home test through the delivery app and received a test for an entirely different condition. So what happened, based on what I could tell just from that, is the UberEats customer ordered a COVID test, and they didn't really choose a substitution, but the substitutions that were defaulted on this product were probably based on the guise of it's a test. So pregnancy test ended up as one of those options. Or that they're making it up for the sake of a TikTok. Who knows? A delivery gone wrong. In her TikTok, which has drawn over 39,000 views as of Friday, a software engineer and AI comedy content creator, Alberta.nyc, says she was delivered a pregnancy test instead of a COVID test, and suspects that the mix-up was due to an automated intelligence-driven algorithm recommendation. The things you do for content, huh? I'm going to leave our TikTok as well as her profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. Can we just acknowledge for a second that this person is the best ever already? Alberta.nyc was already kind of chill with the idea when they were talking about removing the pre-tip option in the New York City market, hence Alberta.nyc, but also the prospect of now she's a software engineer and an AI content creator, and what ended up happening was she got an order and she understood what could have gone wrong and wasn't a total bitch about it. Oh my God, it's like she wasn't doing this just for the views or something. Because I'll tell you what, I am so sick and tired of this going into the gender realm, and finally we have somebody identifying the real issue and making content about the real issue and not whatever would get you views at this point.
I tried to order a COVID test today through UberEats, and this is what I received. Advanced 1-step, test 5 days before your period. Didn't know COVID was related to the period, but hey, if it is 99% effective, we'll take it. This is unfortunately not a joke. As you can see here, I received the pregnancy test, and it was a replacement for the COVID home test. So how do I know this is the result of an AI recommendation system and not just a delivery guy's comical screw up? So if you've ever ordered from any of these grocery delivery services, you know that they often have add what you would like to replace this item with if it isn't available. Personally, I didn't add it, which that's my fault, but also I was like, it's a COVID test. You should replace it with another COVID test.
But that's the thing, on our end, we would not have that option realistically. There are times when I would choose a replacement product and the system wouldn't let me choose an actual suited replacement product, but it would let me choose the suggested product. Great example of this, I was doing a Walmart Spark order. They wanted this keto bread that was Nature Valley or Nature something or something like that. But they didn't have that, but they did have one Arnold's keto bread option there. The app wouldn't let me choose Arnold's, but it would let me refund it, which sucks because I was there like, hey, what's going on? This is actually a suitable system. The customer was okay with this. And not to mention, there's a lot of times where we would choose a suitable replacement and the customer gets all up about the brand. I did an Instacart order the other day. There was an item on there for Ice Mountain Water. To be clear, Ice Mountain Water is just a brand of bottled water. It is nothing special about it. Not even like it's mineral water and blah, blah, blah. No, it was just bottled water. If you chose anything else, she would complain about it. And the app knew it and they were like, hey, this customer bitches about this product a lot. Just refund it. So it is easier for us to just refund it than to give you what you need. And I'm assuming that was the big item on this shopping list. You needed the COVID home test. So they did what the app allowed them to do.
Anyway, if I go back to the CVS and see their top recommendations, this pregnancy test was their top recommendation. The other options, by the way, are Band-Aids, a thermometer, a colon disease test, Advil, and another pregnancy test. And yes, they do sell other COVID tests at the CVS.
How crazy is that? Even CVS is like, COVID's not a big deal anymore. We shut down the whole world in 2020 for 2-3 years for this so-called pandemic level disease. And yes, it watered down over time, or so they say, but people are finding now that the vaccine is doing just as much damage as the COVID test is. This isn't supposed to get political. That's not the purpose of that comment. But I'm just saying, even the systems themselves are saying, yeah, we don't think it's a big deal. Try these instead. That's the message I'm receiving from this.
I don't know how much autonomy delivery drivers have over what they select or what their UI looks like.
Great question. Short answer, they don't. Seriously, like every time that I would think that this is a suitable replacement, or whether they literally say select a replacement that you think is right, we get the complaint, we get the bad rating, and we're the ones getting hit at the end of the day, especially for apps like UberEats and Instacart and Walmart Spark, which all allow for tip baiting. Which, why would we want to risk our accounts based on you not liking a product we chose?
But I'm assuming if this popped up in some way, shape, or form, and the guy saw it, he just picked it up and bought it and didn't think too hard about it.
You know, I kind of see what your point is there. Like, whenever I do the shopping, unless I really have to make a choice about what options are available, I would just be the guy to be like, okay, I'm trying to contact the customer. I would be contacting the customer about it. If the system doesn't allow for it, I'm going to tell the customer, hey, listen, the system's not letting me do it. I'm either going to have to refund it or choose a different replacement. And in most cases, I just refunded it. Delivery orders mishaps. Per Uber Eats policy, customers are not typically able to get the wrong or missing items replaced in their order once received, but they usually get a refund for the purchase price of those items if contacted within 48 hours of the incident. I don't typically do a lot of shop and deliver orders on Uber Eats, but there you go. That's your answer. Some viewers shared how they had personally been done wrong by shoppers for various delivery services, either omitting entire items from their order or making inappropriate substitutions. Oh, here we go. I will never forget the Walmart Plus shopper who replaced my tampons with not different tampons. One commenter wrote, not maxi pads. No, toothpicks. He replaced my choice of tampons with toothpicks. I don't even know how that's even possible. Anytime on Walmart Spark, if I were to ever do the shopping, which in most cases I don't, I would choose whatever the substitution would allow me or refund it. And in most cases, I would refund it. Because I don't want to be the guy to pick something wrong and you get all uppity that you spent money on an item you didn't want. I ordered gummies. Welch's fruit gummies, another said. The first recommendation to replace was wheelchair. Thank God I got the notification and canceled it before the dude left the store. That shopper would be so tight, I swear to God. Honestly, I feel like those two comments are something they say on social media just to spread propaganda on the subject. I don't think that's all that possible. Although I will say on Walmart Plus, 99% of the time we're not shopping, so if that's actually happening, I sincerely doubt it. I had a bean burrito replaced with veggie dumplings, one said. Wow, that was the most believable one of the 3 comments. Congratulations. You win. I don't know what you win, but you win. Whose fault is it? Some viewers offered the shopper's perspective of making such decisions when picking items that are out of stock, with several saying that the poster was correct in her assumption that the system simply picks a suitable replacement if the customer does not list a backup option. But who do they blame at the end of the day? The idiot driver who did the shopping. Or they blame the idiot driver who just picked up the items and didn't shop themselves, but it's still their fault. On Instacart, at least, the shopper had to scan the barcode of the items, one commenter wrote. If they are available, they can only replace with another item from the list, even if there's generic/other options right there. Like I said, with that water order, they wanted Ice Mountain water. There was Zephyrless, there was the store brand, there was Dasani. I know that most people don't like Dasani, but Dasani. There were 5 other brands, not Ice Mountain. I couldn't replace it because the customer always bitched about it. My partner used to do Instacart, and it does work the way you said, another commenter wrote. The driver is given an auto-generated suggested replacement, but they can override with a different replacement. Yeah, and then we would get the bad rating if the replacement wasn't suitable. We would rather deal with what the system is telling us to do and not deal with the bad rating than deal with going against the system and getting a bad rating if they get all uppity because they got Scott over Bounty or something like that. Or if they got Pepsi instead of Coke. Even if they saw the original item, one said, it could have just skipped it and told them to get the replacement outright. I don't know about that. I've never personally experienced that, but okay. No, that's not true. I've experienced that when I had to pick up hard-boiled eggs during a Walmart shopping order. And because the order was in a different department, because they moved the item to a different department, in Walmart, they wouldn't let me scan it. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I had to refund the item because of that. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. First of all, I really appreciate that Alberta actually understood the system itself and actually seeked to understand the system itself before immediately blaming the driver. Yes, common sense does help, but systematically, it's not all that possible 100% of the time. And not to mention the times when you have the ability to replace something, but you know it is a very niche item that they would not want replaced with another brand. The amount of people that are super particular on alcohol delivery, we aren't even getting super deep into that. Maybe different tobacco products, maybe different scents from laundry detergent, etc., etc., etc. The point stands that in a lot of cases, you don't want those customers to come back and say,
This isn't the brand we wanted. You see, this is why shoppers are always the problem.
and if we're going to be the bad guy anyway, we might as well do what's best to protect our accounts, because no one else is looking out for the financial safety for ourselves better than we are. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.